Boa noite, Floripa. Tudo bem? So nice to speak to you. So I'm very sorry for the football result this afternoon. So maybe if we win against England, we will do the revenge. So, and of course, we're gonna speak about our family. So, Famille Moutard. So we are medium-sized company producing champagne since 1642. So in the south part of the Champagne area in France, of course. And so we have three main activities. The first and historical activities is champagne, of course. The second one is a distillery. We have also a very old distillery with some alembic where we produce spirit. And the third activities is Burgundy. We produce also sparkling wine and still wine from a vineyard that we have in north of Burgundy. Yes. So this is the manager of our company, so François, the brothers, and with his two sisters, Agnès and Véronique, who manage the company since 1981, and now they have the sons. We are taking the reins as well. So some pictures of each company, so Champagne, Distillery, and Domaine Moutard. So we have three logos, different logos. So where is Champagne? I think you know.
Onde fica Champagne, vocês sabem?
Yes. So France, of course, and the region de Champagne is very close by Paris, just 2 hours from Paris on this area. And of course, you cannot produce champagne outside this Champagne area. It's appellation d'origine contrôlée. Yes. So the Champagne area is composed of 4 different areas. Montagne de Reims on the north, close to Reims city. Vallée de la Marne along Épernay. Côte des Blancs and south of Épernay. And also the last one is Côte des Bas, where Moutard is, on the south part of the Champagne. The whole Champagne represents 33,000 hectares of vineyard. And every year we produce 333,000 bottles. Million. Yes. And this year we never sold so many bottles than this year. So we are the maximum of sales this year. And now this is the map only for Moutard Vineyard. So south of Champagne is here. So our company is based in Buxeuil, where we have all our family vineyard. And also you do 45 kilometers and you arrive in Burgundy, in Chablis and Molhomme, where we have most of the vineyard composed of Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, where we do sparkling wine, so Crémant de Bourgogne, but also Spumante, méthode traditionnelle, and also a range of still wine with Chablis, Chablis Premier Cru, Chablis Grand Cru, Épineuil and Tonnerre. So the specificity of our location in south of Champagne, in Côte des Bars, this is the nature of the soil, of course, and we profit from a clay limestone soil, which is called Kimmeridgien. It's a very old soil from the Jurassic period, 200 million years ago. It was tropical sea, and we still have some very old sediment, and we find easily fossils. We bring a lot of freshness and minerality to the Champagne. So Buxeuil, it's 150 inhabitants. So of course there is much more vineyard than people, and it's a grower village since the Middle Age. So it's a very beautiful house, nice construction, architecture, with based on stone that we find easily on the vineyard. And so as I said, we are wine producers since 1642. At this time, it was only the grapes producing, because Champagne, we start making Champagne in 1927 at the Moutard family. But at this time, it was only grapes production to make wine or to sell to other producers. And we have also a kind of museum in our house. We have one of the oldest car, which is a Peugeot, where we used to carry the barrels before. So one of the first car with engine. And also very old alembic. used by the grandfather, Hyacinthe Diligent. We used to make distillation with this mobile alembic. So in terms of production, we produce 600,000 bottles. So we are like medium-sized company. Most of the bottles are sold abroad. So we work with 80 different countries. And so the main export are US, Canada, but we do also very well in Europe. So like UK, Germany, Spain, Portugal, Baltics also, and also in Asia, Japan, Hong Kong, Singapore, China, Taiwan. And we do also very well in Oceania, so Australia, New Zealand, New Caledonia, Tahiti, almost everywhere, and South of America with Brazil. And we work with Angeloni since 2009, of course in exclusivity on the whole of the Brazil, and he has been successful. And we are lucky to have also Arban, Petit Méliès, Pinot Blanc, which were like disappeared grapes varietal, but which were famous during the 19th century. So it's pictures of each grapes varietal. So you can see that Arban, Chardonnay, Petit Méliès, and Pinot Blanc are wine grapes. And we are using also Meunier, Pinot Noir, which are red, but the juice is white. So we can do white wine from these black grapes. And thanks to these 6 grapes varietal, we will be able to produce very nice champagne. So like 6 cépages, cuvée 6 cépages that we are going to taste. And also cuvée Arban, 100% of Arban, which is very unique in the world of champagne, of course. So first step to make champagne is, of course, to collect, to pick up the grapes. So we call this process harvest, of course. It is mandatory in Champagne to do harvest, to pick up by hand, so manual harvest, and it's forbidden to use a machine. So most of the time harvest happen during September, but with the global warming, harvest is happening earlier and earlier. So now it's mid of August. We need to, so because we are doing harvest by hand, we need a lot of people. So example, for Moutard, we hire around 100 people, and the goal is to be able to collect, to pick up the grapes at the right time and as quick as possible. The time is around 10 days to pick up everything. So the average degrees of alcohol in the grapes, so the best is 10 degrees, 10.5 degrees. And it will be more easier for us to start the alcoholic fermentation. So the best ratio is 10.5 degrees. So we bring the grapes in our press room. So we have 2 big press. We put around 8,000 kilograms of grapes for one press, and 3 hours later we're gonna collect 4,000 liters of juice, which is called cuvée. We're gonna press a second time. We're gonna extract 1,000 liters, and this juice is going to be la taille. And Moutard, we only use la cuvée. We don't use taille. La taille, we are using it to make something else like ratafia or to make distillation of this juice. But we only keep the best juice, the most concentrated. And that's why the Brut Grand Cuvée means we only use cuvée. So once we have the juice from the press, we put the juice into the, so we have 2 options, tank or barrels. It depends what we want to do. And of course, the majority is we put the juice in a big tank. And for the top cuvée, we are using barrels. So we're gonna start the first fermentation, which is called alcoholic fermentation. So the juice is going to become wine. Everybody knows about alcoholic fermentation?
Tá perguntando se todo mundo entende pouquinho sobre a fermentação alcoólica.
Yes. So some beautiful pictures of the cellar, the barrel rooms, and where the wine is going to, the juice, I mean the fermentation is happening. And of course, with barrels, the fermentation takes a longer time than in tank. So the alcoholic fermentation it's pretty quick actually. It takes 1 week. So from the juice to become wine. And after we're gonna wait. I mean, when I say I'm waiting, I'm doing very simple because we are doing many things. But until January, from the harvest to January, we are doing vinification. And from January, we're gonna obtain vin clair, and we're gonna make blending of this vin clair during assemblage. In January, we're gonna taste all the tank, all the barrels, and we are going to decide which barrels is going to be mixed, blended all together, and so to decide of the different cuvées of what we want to do. So at this time, I think you told it. It's there is no gas inside. It's a still wine, like a white wine. And when we know what we want to do, we are going to organize the bottling process, le tirage en français. And without forgetting to prepare a liquor that we are going to liqueur de tirage, which is new yeast that we are going to put into the bottle and sugar to create a second fermentation into the bottle. So this is what we call méthode champenoise or méthode traditionnelle. And we call the second fermentation, the beginning of the second fermentation, la prise de mousse. So when the bubbles are coming, so it's pretty quick as well. It takes only 2 months. So we're gonna have more and more pressure into the bottle, and we are going to reach 8 bars. After, we're gonna put the champagne in the caves to sleep during 2 years at least, and a minimum of 3 years for the vintage, and like 6 cépages, more than 10 years. So the wine is going to stay on the lees with the bubbles. So this position, horizontal position, is called une bouteille sur latte, so on the lees. So you must have the lees on the back of the bottle, like this. And so when the bottle is ready to be sold, so a minimum of aging of 2 years, we are going to use this process of riddling, remuage, to be able to concentrate all the dead sediment from the second fermentation in this position, vertical position, and to have all the sediment in this part of the bottle. So this is, of course, with machine the new way, and before, when we didn't have the machine, we used this method, so by hand, with pupitre, wooden pupitre. So, and it's a champagne invention, of course. And I got a very interesting question yesterday. We ask if it is different to riddle by machine or by hand. There is no difference. The goal is to get a good riddling, a good remuage, and the goal is to have all the sediment all together. And after the riddling, so is helping us in order to extract this dead sediment. And to make it, we are using another step, which is called disgorgement, where we are going to extract this dead sediment in freezing we can show the bottle again, and after we stop the theoretical. So we're gonna freeze this part of the bottle to get ice cube, and the ice cube contains all the dead sediment. And so we put again the bottle in vertical position, and after we open the bottle, and with the natural pressure of the bottles, the ice cube is leaving, and after we refill the bottle with the same quantity of wine left. And after we complete the bottle with the liqueur d'expédition, which contain wine and also sugar. And the sugar level is going to determine the name of the cuvée. So brut, brut is a medium, so not too sweet, not too dry. Demi-sec, so it will be a little bit sweeter. I mean, at least double sweeter than brut. But also we have brut nature. This is zero added sugar. And we have also doux champagne, which is very, very sweet. And the last process, and we put the cork on the bottle, and the muselet, the cage, to keep the cork. And after checking the bottle, because of course when you have the liquor, you need to check the bottle like this. And after, we're gonna wait at least 1 month before to release the bottle, because when you just did the disgorgement, it's good to wait a little bit, time that the dosage to be well implemented with the wine. So it has been a lot of information. Now you know very well about champagne, but most important is of course drinking. So now we are drinking méthode traditionnelle, which is not champagne, but we did this bottle like we are doing champagne. But the grapes, of course, is not from Champagne. As I told you, we do méthode traditionnelle from our domain in Burgundy. So to make méthode traditionnelle, we do the harvest by machine, not by hand. The goal is to be attractive in terms of pricing. So we do harvest by machine, and the aging on the lees is much more shorter than like a Crémant de Bourgogne. It's only 1 year. So the goal to make this méthode traditionnelle, as you have just told, it's to be attractive in terms of pricing, to try to fight against Cava, Prosecco, and because of course we have a lot of experience in making sparkling wine, and this méthode traditionnelle is a must in terms of good quality for the money. So at Angeloni we do méthode traditionnelle brut, and Angeloni has also brut nature. So this is exactly the same wine, but with no dosage, no added sugar. And we have also a third méthode traditionnelle, which is called Grande Réserve, on a transparent bottle, which is 50% Pinot Noir, 50% Chardonnay, and also Brut Nature. So it's very different. And so at Angeloni, you have 3 options of Spumante from us for Burgundy. So Brut Grande Cuvée is the champagne we do the most. It represents like 50% of the production, of the whole of the production of Champagne Moutard. So it's a blend of 80% Pinot Noir, 20% Chardonnay, with 8 grams of dosage. So it's something very classical, not too sweet, not too dry, very good balance. And with, of course, the dominance of Pinot Noir, because Pinot Noir is the grapes varietal we find the most in Côte des Bar. So it represents very well our growing area. By the way, do you know the story about the foil? Why we are using a foil?
A primeira coisa que a gente tem sobre a garrafa é a cápsula.
So at the beginning, a long time ago, like in 18th century,
Pessoal, por favor.
when grandfather used to make bottling, the level of wine was not the same, of course. And they got the idea to hide to people, to customers, where is the level of wine. So that's why they have invented the foil, to be able to hide and to not see the level of wine. So you have to gently opening the foil. You must have like a mark to be able to take it off. So you have to do it pretty gently, like this, because the goal is to still have the foil like this, because the bottle, even if the bottle is open, she must be beautiful. So of course, champagne is under pressure, so you have to be careful in opening the bottle. So you always have to put your right or left hand on the cork in case of evacuation of the cork. So we have invented the muselet. So the muselet is the metallic cage in the end of 18th century in my local town, by the way. So the goal is to, of course, to keep the cork with your left hand, so the cork doesn't move. It's the bottle which moves. So from the left to the right. You always need as well inclination. You don't have to do like this and do like this. So you turn the bottle. Normally it's 5 times, and you feel the cork leaving a little bit. So some people like to make the puff It depends, but I like to make some noise as well. But sommelier prefer to not make noise, so it depends. Perfect. And now, so the way to serve a bottle as well is to do like this. Perfect.
Merci.
So something important about also this champagne, Brut Grand Cuvée, it's a non-vintage. So non-vintage is something very special to champagne, to sparkling wine. Why? Because for this, to make this champagne, we are using 75% of one harvest, one vintage. So example, what we are drinking now is from 2018. 75% of 2018, and we put 25% of vin de réserve. So this is all wines. It's different vintages that we keep, and the goal is to have the same quality of champagne every year, and that's why vin de réserve are very important. Yeah, so the demi-sec is 3 times sweeter than the Brut Grand Cuvée. Demi-sec represent like 10% of the sales. So demi-sec is still, there is still a market for demi-sec, and we especially sell it to US. It's still a big market for demi-sec. So demi-sec got quite bad reputation because normally demi-sec with the sweetness, you can hide the default of the wine, and so that's why demi-sec had some bad reputation. But for the bad producers, not for the good one. Something very important in champagne. So perlage is all the bubbles, which are starting from the bottom of the glass into the top, and is going to form a little ring all around the glass. But of course, it depends on the kind of glass you are using. But the goal is to have a beautiful rings and tiny bubbles and long-lasting bubbles. And you feel also the sparklingness because, as I said, it depends on the glass you are using. The sparklingness, you are feeling it also under your tongue, the bubbles under the tongue. So now we speak about rosé. So rosé, it's a growing market actually. It represents 15% of the market of the whole of the champagne. And the rosé we are drinking now is from a single plot, which is called Damnel. And from this plot, we grow Pinot Noir. We have a nice exposition, and we have a very nice ripeness, who help us in making very good rosé. So to make rosé in Champagne, we are using 2 methods. So the first method is to start from a white wine, and we blend with a little bit of red wine, like 10-15%, so to get rosé color. We don't use this method. We are using this method, which is called skin contact. So just after the harvest, we let macerate. So we select the Pinot Noir, like the pictures on the left. We select the best Pinot Noir. We are going to let macerate them in a wooden tank. We're gonna wait like 2 days, and the juice is going to take the color from the skin, and we're gonna obtain the juice with a blood color, like this. And it makes the rosé much more intense flavors, and we have a lot of tannin also from the skin of the Pinot Noir. But now rosé, of course, is nice, very nice champagne. But now we're gonna speak about very rare grapes varietal called Arban, and Arban is local grapes from our area in Champagne. Arban was very famous before the phylloxera, and he has been disappeared after the phylloxera because of the sensibility of these grapes. It's pretty sensitive, but with the global warming, he has some good advantage. And in 1952, Lucien Moutard, so the father of François, has replanted these old vines in 1952, merci. And to keep the trace of this old grapes varietal. Because in 1952 there were no Arban at all. And that's why we are now able to produce 100% of Arban from all vines, from vieilles vignes. And this is quite unique over the world. So Arban is our top cuvée at Champagne-Moutard. So we only produce 1,000 and some 100 bottles. It depends on the vintage. And now we are drinking 2014 and the last bottle, because now we are going to switch to the new vintage, 2015. And it's 8 years of aging on the lees. And so yeah, that's really our top champagne from Moutard, 100% Arban. So Arban, it was considered like improver grapes on the Blanc de Blanc. Because before, to make this single cuvée of Arban, because actually we start making 100% of Arban in 1990. And before, we used Arban to improve the blend of the Blanc de Blanc, so Chardonnay. And we decided to make a single cuvée to isolate it and to show to people what is a pure Arban. So in Champagne, we are permitted to grow actually 7 grapes varietals. And now we have a new one, which is called Voltis. It's a new grapes varietal in Champagne. Voltis. It's a good news. Huh? It's a news.
Spoiler.
And so now we are permitted to grow 8 grapes. Yeah. And the Voltis has been created. We are working on it. I mean, when I say we, it's the Champagne Association, the CEVC, are working on it since more than 10 years. It's a kind of hybrid grapes, and the goal is to not use any pesticide on this kind of grapes, and to be able to plant it close to the village, close to the school, where we cannot use chemical products. About tasting of Arban, so as you know, Arban is unique. It's a curiosity, but it's also unique by the taste. So the color as well is a little bit less yellow than Chardonnay. It's a little bit more clear. And the nose is very special. It's very Arban. So we smell pistachio, almond, and exotic note. No, I say as a conclusion, Arban is unique by itself. It's a curiosity, but when you taste it, you love it, and it's a little bit more than a curiosity. It's also a great champagne. Yeah, it's a food is oak. It's a big oak. It's not barrels, so you have less wooden contact than a barrels, but just a tiny, which is nice. You don't feel actually the oakiness of the Arban. The goal is not to have some oaky taste. It's just the roundness from the oak. Normally, so we do the aging for you. You are supposed to drink it now, but you can still keep it 4 or 5 years. It's no problem. But Arban for me is really nice to drink now. It shows the best. Nice acidity, nice minerality, nice freshness, and yes, I will recommend to drink it as soon as possible. Because it's a small production, we don't really have some example of aged Arban. We have much more potential of aging on the C cepage. And we are using also Arban in the C cepage, but this is not Arban from the old vines. This is a new Arban. This is Arban we have replanted in the 90s or 2000 something. So it's not the same Arban. It's it's not all vines. So we blend for the cuvée C cepage 1/6 of each. So the 6 permitted grapes, 1/6 of Pinot Noir, Pinot Meunier, Petit Méliès, Pinot Blanc, Chardonnay, and Arban in the blend. Something interesting as well for the C cepage is the second fermentation is done with cork and stoppers. And we are using a special bottle to make C cepage. The bottle is called bag carré. So the frame of the bottle on the top of the bottle is stronger to be able to carry the cork and the stoppers. I can show you if you want. And the wine is going to be in contact with the cork all along the aging time, the aging process, 10 years. So we do six cépage for in bottle. We do it magnums and also double magnums. So Jéroboam. It's very limited edition. We do like a couple of hundred bottles of Jéroboam, 500 magnums, and we do an average of 18 bottles, 18,000. And of course, magnums. When you are looking for when you want to age the six cépage, it will be better in magnum and on big size. So six cépage is also very unique champagne, and also in terms of tasting, you can smell and taste. You have so much different aromas due to the equal blending of the six. So there is no too much Pinot Noir, Chardonnay. You don't feel it. It's just the complexity of the blend, and which makes also six cépage a very unique champagne. And this year we start making six cépage in a still version, Coteau Champenois from the six cépage, which is very unique still wine as well. Question. So there is an explanation. This is the second fermentation on the lees with the cork. So why we are doing it? We have a micro oxidation. So the cork, the wine is breathing a little bit more with the cork than the caps, you know. And something important as well, we for the dégorgement, we do, because it's a cork, we do by hand. We don't do it by machine, so we are losing a little bit more pressure because of this one. So for this such big wine, big champagne like this, we are not using a regular flute glass. We are using like a big glass, like Burgundy glasses, to open the size of the glass and to show better the aromas. And the perfect temperature will be between 10 and 12 degrees for this kind of champagne.
Merci. Jean-Benoît.
So, molto obrigado, Floripa. So, we try to explain you that Moutard is a medium-sized company, family company. We are doing good champagne because we are very patient about our work. We are still independent. You know, it's pretty rare in Champagne to have like independent family company who does the wine, and that's why thank you very much for your trust and confidence, and please drink again champagne and do it and make promotion of champagne.